Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Music, and today I'm going to be discussing some of my favorite debut albums. And it was kind of hard to decide, to come up with a list. There's so many good ones out there. So I have a feeling this is probably going to be a part one, and there'll be subsequent additions to this. Anyway, before I begin, um, if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you click on the like button, and also you can click on the little bell to get reminded of future videos. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate all of you who have already subscribed to my channel. I do appreciate it. Trying to get a lot more videos on here. Coming up some interesting ideas. So, in the comments, always open to suggestions. And if you have some of your favorite debut albums, hey, put them in the comments section. It's great. I would love to read some of your ideas. Anyway, let's go ahead and begin here. All right. So these are not in particular order. They're just going down the list of some of my favorites. Going to begin with Aerosmith, their debut album from 1973. Of course, this one had the one that broke them, which was Dream On. Great song. One of my other favorite songs on that album was One Way Street. Really good album there. Excuse me. So next on the list, we've got the Allman Brothers Band. And this is their debut. Allman Brothers, what a great band. I mean, if you love guitar, this is this is like the first one. There's so many others to get in their catalog, but this is the one that started it all. With Dwayne Allman and Diggy Betts, a lot of good guitar stuff in there. This particular album has the track "Whipping Post," which is a classic, and of course, a lot of their stuff. If you want to hear the extended jams, pick up a lot of their live albums. Usually, they stretch them out quite a bit. Next, we have Angel, and it's this band. So when I used to work at Blockbuster Music. It was back in 1995, if you remember that store. And that was a store where they actually allowed you to listen to some of the music before you actually bought it, which is kind of a cool concept back then. Anyway, the manager of the store, he got me interested in this band. I did purchase their first album, which is Hell of a Band. Their second album, actually, that's the second one. Their first one is a classic, also from 1975. Features the lead off song on that album. It's called "The Tower." Excellent stuff. This band also is noted for having keyboardist Greg Gifria. Good stuff. All right. Now, how can we have a debut album list without Bad Company from 1974? This is one of the albums that there's not a bad song on it. Every song on here is killer. And what can you do? Is the title cut "Bad Company" top notch? Actually, one of my favorite songs on here is called "Seagull," which is a nice acoustic piece. So Bad Commits, this is the album that started off for them. Paul Rogers, great vocalist. Next on the list, we have Badlands from 1989. This was the band that was formed by Jakey Lee, who had played for Ozzy Osbourne for a while. Lead singer Ray Gillen. Excellent stuff. This is the first of three albums that they were to have put out. They put out, and good stuff. Every song is top notch. When I first heard this, it was like just totally blew my mind. I was like, okay, yeah, this was the first one. Listen, did they put anything more out? No, this is the first one. So any of subsequent album that they put out, I grabbed right away. Okay, next, Pat Benatar in the Heat of the Night from 1979. Great stuff. She's just, I mean, beat with her and her husband Neil Girardo. Great tandem. Of course, this album would have the single "Heartbreaker." Good stuff on here. Excellent. And all the other albums that she's put out are top notch as well. Okay, 1970. So you get this album, which is an awesome spooky cover. You put the needle on the album and it's like, oh my gosh. It gives you chills at the beginning because it starts off with the thunderstorm and the rain and the dooming guitar of Tony Iommi. Oh my gosh. What a way to begin. What a way to begin an album. And the first album, I mean, this might be probably the best first track on a debut album. Just the chords, the spooky, ominous, Ozzy's vocal. I mean, what can you say? It's great stuff. Next is 1976, Boston. All right, this was a great album I put out. Tom Schultz and Company, lead singer Brad Delp. Good stuff. It features the classic "More Than a Feeling," and of course the epic "Foreplay," "Long Time." Great music on here. This is another one of those debut albums. That's probably every track is terrific. Next, so Anne and Nancy Wilson entered our lives in 1976 with Dreamboat Annie. What can you say? This album totally rocks. The lead-off track, Magic Man, followed by Crazy on You. Excellent stuff. And then those are two rockers, and then all of a sudden you get, really quiet music, Soul of the Sea, the title cut Dreamboat Annie. I mean, one of the best bands to come out in the 70s. Okay, had to put this on the list. I mean, what can you say? 1978. This is probably, I dare say, maybe the best, if one of the best, or if not the best, lead-off debut album by any rock band, Van Halen. It introduced us to David, Alex, Michael, and some guy named Eddie that can really just kill it on the guitar. And when you heard Eruption, I think everybody who heard Eruption and they had a guitar, they had to figure out how to play that thing. And of course, this had the cover of "You Really Got Me" by the old Kings classic. But this is another one of those debut albums that every single song on here is gold. Next, I could not do a list like this without my favorite band, 1969, Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, John Bonham. This was the first one, and of course, it leads off with "Good Times, Bad Times." Yeah, "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You," "Dazed and Confused." Every track on here is really terrific. This was the beginning, guys. Next, from 1978, The Cars. This is really pretty good. I started hearing them, and it's like, wow, that's an interesting sound. I really like a lot of the synth that they have in the songs. I think my favorite song on this album is "Moving in Stereo." Excellent, good album. 1967, Jim Morrison, John Densmore, and Robbie Krieger and Ray Manzarek brought us The Doors, and of course their signature track on this album, "Light My Fire." Interesting on "Light My Fire" is you never well back then when it was on AM radio. Of course, you got the single version, but I always gravitated to the long extended version. And this album also has the epic "The End," which actually was used in the movie Apocalypse Now. Next, this guy totally blew my mind. 1983, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Texas Flood. Actually, I noticed I did not put the title of the album there. But Texas Flood, that was the world being introduced to this guy from Texas. What can I say? Every track on here, terrific. Some of the instrumentals, "Rude Mood." I mean, wow, you can't get any better. Even there's a little song. One of my favorite songs on here is "Mary Had a Little Lamb." Great stuff. And any subsequent albums, the second album was also terrific too. But Stevie Ray Vaughan, unfortunately, may he rest in peace. We lost him way too early, and it's a shame. And I'm not sure if there's archive stuff that's available to put out, but if there is, I hope they do. Okay, next we have the debut album from Montrose. This was Sammy Hagar entering our lives with a great vocal from 1973, the album, the self-titled, Ronnie Montrose. One of the signature tracks, "Bad Motor Scooter." What a great tune that was. And just crank up the volume to 12. Excellent stuff. Okay, we have Tesla, and this is their debut album, Mechanical Resonance, from 1986. This is one of those albums that totally blew me away. What can you say? You have Jeff Keith on vocals, the twin guitars of Frank Hannon and Tommy Scio, Brian Wheat on bass, Troy Luccketta on drums. Signature track on here for me has got to be "Coming at You Live," and that would even sound better live. But Tesla, one of the great debut albums around. Okay, I think that's it. So anyway, that is my list for part one. I know there's going to be a part two. I know there's ones that I left off, one in particular, but I will talk about that one probably on the next video. I'm not going to mention anything right now. If you guys, put it in the comments, any one that may I've missed. I want to see some of your favorites. Anyway, this is Mr. Music. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this list. Check out some of these albums if you haven't already. Okay, they're all excellent in my opinion. Okay, anyway, take care, everybody. See you next time.